It's been 1056 days, 9 hours and 48 minutes since my last game of League of Legends. I have achieved inner peace. I am happy. I am calm. I am fulfilled. And nothing could ever ruin that. Wait, what the fuck? How did I get here?
3 years ago, Riot Games shocked the world by seemingly doing the absolute impossible, making League of Legends respectable for like a few months. Arcane released and blindsided everyone, including League fans themselves, by giving us an animated series nobody expected. This wasn't good for a League of Legends show. This wasn't good for a video game adaptation. This was television of the highest quality that stood up with some of the all-time greats. It was praised by fans and critics alike, got the acclaim, swept the awards, achieved recognition that far exceeded its usual player base, and got everyone asking, when is Season 2 coming? Well, now it's finally here in all its glory, but things are different now. The cat's out of the bag. There is no element of surprise. We not only know how hard this can go, but there's also a level of expectations that few shows can ever get. League IP be damned. So the only thing left is to answer the question, did Arcane Season 2 deliver on that? I have a lot of opinions, but before we get to that, I want to talk about a game I also have a lot of opinions about. Today's sponsor, Hoya vs Zenless Zone Zero. Zenless Zone Zero is an action RPG that has everything I look for in a game. A battle system that's easy to pick up and hard to master. Music that absolutely slaps. Amazing aesthetics and art styles. Characters that are dripped out in every single way possible that appeals to whatever taste you have. Whether you like tall girls, small girls, shy girls, angry girls, rat girls, and even exceedingly handsome gentlemen wolf butlers. Don't look at me like that. This has been my latest addiction, and right now patch 1.4 is about to drop, and this is their biggest patch to date that reworks so many things because the devs listened. Yes, they listened. They've completely updated the TV mode, removing it from the main story, being completely remade and optimized if you weren't a fan of it originally, while the internet's level gating system for the content has been lowered. Not only that, but they've completely reworked the ult system so each character can now ult individually. Plus, we are finally getting Miyabi after months of waiting, and oh boy does she look good. And not only that, but a new story chapter is being added that brings the arc to a climax. This is about as close as you can get to a relaunch of the game, so if you want to try it out, this is the perfect time. So what are you waiting for? Click that link in the description to pre-register on the ZZZ website today and receive 160 polychrome. On top of that, you'll get a free S-tier character, Harumasa, along with the resources to level him up to level 50. They are literally giving this stuff away for you. What more do you want? Thank you very much to Hoyoverse for sponsoring me today. Let's get back to Arcane. I have so much love for what Arcane has done, for the things it does right. So much so that it almost makes me want to forgive some of its glaring shortcomings. Almost. If you're not a regular viewer of this channel, well, you might not know that I normally talk about anime. A place where you regularly get to see some of the most talented people flex their skills in the medium of animation, where we get to experience jaw-dropping spectacles year in and year out, pushing the imagination of what can be achieved in an animated series. Arcane blows all that shit out the water. This series has some of the most visually stunning things I've ever seen. Now, to be fair, unlike anime, this did have a $250 million budget, which sounds like a lot, and is a lot, but I've seen what Hollywood has done with far more for a single film, so if you tell me it's $250 million across 2 seasons, 18 episodes, 40 minutes each, I'm like, damn. That cheap? Of course, animation projects is never just about the budget. It is, and always has been, a combination of money, resources, talent, and of course, time. Arcane seems like that rare phenomenon where all these things have come together across 2 seasons, delivering some of the most impressive sequences I've ever seen in an animated series. I am not being hyperbolic, I fucking mean that. Before working on Arcane, Studio Fortiche helped to make various character trailers and music videos for League, a place where they consistently had to condense their storytelling with the use of minimal dialogue while presenting us with high-impact scenes that can let their artists and animators shine. And it's clear they've taken everything they've learned from this approach and inserted it into a serialized show, bringing so many scenes up to the next level. Let's take the beginning of episode 2. Now, a challenge every series has in a sequel is reminding people what's happened and setting the stage for what's been going on since they last saw it. It's been 3 years since season 1. Do people remember about the underground leaders? Except this guy's dead, and this guy's dead, and that guy's dead. It's bloody chaos down there. How do we catch the audience up to what's going on? Maybe we can have a lengthy dialogue scene where one of the characters talks about what's happening in the world right now. Maybe we can start the episode off with a JoJo-style narrator explaining what everyone's been up to since the previous season. Fuck, Star Wars can do this with a simple text scroll and everyone's alright with that. Or you can just do this. 54 seconds. 54 seconds is all it took to catch me up with everything I need to know. Remind me of the players out of the game. Remind me of the players still in the game, and explain the exact state of the world since we left it. The 6 leaders of the underworld have been turned into 3. It's an all-out war between the factions that are left vying for the power gap that's been left by Silco's demise, with Jinx as the wild card right in the middle of the carnage. I feel like I'm doing a disservice by describing the sequence because it was just simple, effective storytelling executed in such a badass way. And this was one of the weaker sequences actually. Heart-pounding action, gut-wrenching moments, pure nail-biting horror, vibes, rock music, rap, ballads. Scenes will change art style, animation style on a fucking whim. Arcane hits every style, genre, and emotion you can think of and executes it to a degree most shows would be happy to hit just once. As a Brit, I was so engrossed in Echo and Powder's dance, I heard French and didn't immediately recall in disgust. And I don't know if there's a higher compliment I can give. These weren't just spectacle for the sake of spectacle. Every one of them served a purpose for the narrative while pushing the limits of what can be achieved in the medium of animation, not only for storytelling, but pure creative expression. Possibly my favorite one was in episode 3. You have a battle on multiple fronts with characters having the most primal of brawls, crawling at each other's throats, seamlessly interjected with a bombshell of a reveal of the wider lore while syncing it up beat for beat, blow for bone-crushing blow with the awe-inspiring score. It's a symphony of peak storytelling, direction, choreography, emotion, and raw artistic flair. This is fucking cinema. When Arcane is at its peak, it is just unmatched, and if it had paired this execution with the writing quality of season 1, this would have undoubtedly gone down as a masterpiece. We were so close. Okay, this is where we're going to get into spoiler territory if you really care about that. The first 3 episodes start off with a bang, picking up that momentum exactly where we left off. Then, about halfway through, you get this nagging feeling in the back of your mind where your brain starts thinking, wow, there sure is a lot of things happening right now. Sure hope they're going to be able to resolve it all. In season 1, we were presented with the world of Piltover and Zorn, and the conflict between them that would take center stage for the entirety of the show. The world was vast, and the cast was big, but every character moment, every big development, everything came back to the central conflict, allowing the show to carefully craft this interwoven character drama around it. Season 2 picks up those pieces exactly where we left them, adding more layers to the conflicts, right up until the halfway point where the series just suddenly goes, actually, we're gonna do something else now. Turns out it was Ambessa that orchestrated the attack on Piltover because she's getting targeted by some secret mage cult, so she needs the power of Hextech, and gaslights Caitlyn. Victor becomes Mecha Jesus and starts his own religion. Mel awakens magic powers. Jinx and Vi play Family Feud, so Ambessa and Victor team up because they're the new baddies now, starting Arcane Season 2, Age of Ultron. Meanwhile, Echo and Jace are off in their own bloody universe like,
you say it's too late to make it, but is it too late to try? If happy ever after did exist, I would still be holding you like this.
the underlying issue is when a single conflict has been the main focus for the entirety of your series thus far, if you suddenly decide to switch over to something different, you better have the runtime available to address everything you've done before while setting up something completely new. Instead, it never felt like the central conflict between Piltover and Zorn was ever properly resolved, just brushed aside to give spotlight to an even bigger conflict with an even bigger baddie. The two sides put aside their differences and team up to tackle the bigger oncoming threat, and all this culminates in a finale that felt more comic book cheesy than it it did organic. Then, after everything is over, it was like everyone just forgot all the underlying issues that got us there in the first place, which is a big departure from the carefully crafted drama from season 1. The character drama is still there, but instead of gradually guiding each character towards their destination, it felt more like they were being yanked from one big emotional development to the next without really letting the gravity of these moments sink in. Just like Vi. Alright, so she joins the Piltover Enforcers, an absolute last-ditch effort going against all her previous principles, showing her resolve of taking down her sister who she no longer sees as her sister. She is not Powder, she is Jinx. Except when push actually comes to shove, she fails, gets sad, breaks up with her girlfriend, so she's not an enforcer anymore, she's a bare-knuckle boxing emo kid. That is, until her not sister shows up and she's mad, until she's not when she gets told her dad is still alive as an undead mecha werewolf. So immediately everything's okay and they're sisters again, and she starts to trust her for 5 minutes until she gets betrayed again. But everything's okay because her ex shows up and nothing ever felt out of character. In fact, the evolution of her character makes perfect sense, but the journey to get there felt so abrupt. Like, you're starting the character off here, then we're teleporting here, the next episode we're going here, no actually we're there, okay, we'll call it even and we're gonna end the character there. What's happening next episode? Oh, we're fucking there. And with just a few more episodes, it could have looked like this, and this is something I felt I could say for almost everyone in this season. On top of the fact that you're adding even more characters to the cast list. I mean, you got that bloke from The Shape of Water, girlfriend number 2, Loris. Oh, how could I forget Loris? I'm sure he's gonna play a big role. And what's her name again? Shimo? Alright, some of that I can forgive, but you mean to tell me this is an accurate League of Legends show when you got an ADC who thinks she can solo a fed top laner? Let's see how this goes down. Oh man, she has a support as well and they still can't take her down. Oh, mid just ganked, this might be it. What is she doing? She's kill stealing! Support is kill stealing! And mid just disconnected. You know what? I take that back. This is pretty accurate. And yet, with all that said and done, with all the problems I have with it, I still can't help but fucking love this series. This didn't match the insanely high bar season 1 sets. It wasn't the squeaky clean conclusion we all wanted, but when you set your sights this high and fly so close to perfection, it makes the faults more glaringly visible. Yes, it could have been better. Yes, we could have done with maybe 2 or 3 more episodes to iron out some wrinkles, but if there was one line in the show that summed up my feelings as a whole after everything was over, it was this.
There is beauty in imperfections.
Arcane still is an absolute achievement for everyone involved. At worst, it takes on a bit too much and uses some messy shortcuts to get to its destination. But at best, it is a triumph of animation, showcasing the absolute peak of what you can find in the medium. There is only one thing in my mind that can even compete with the artistic showcase on display here, and that is Into the Spider-Verse, which, as much as I love anime, shows what can be done with a budget way bigger than what we usually see there. But this isn't just $250 million on display. This was a product of love with a Hollywood budget. This is what happens when you gather passionate creators from so many different fields who get the time they need to perfect their craft, combined with a shit ton of money to ensure they can bring their vision to a reality. And the results speak for themselves. Every single frame a painting, every song a banger. This may not be a masterpiece, but it is a masterclass of technical prowess. And if this is just the start of things to come, we could be in a renaissance for animation, because for an animated TV series, Arcane hasn't just raised the bar, it goddamn obliterated it.
Defeat.
I'm never falling for this shit again. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you very much this month to Author Curtis Eckstein, Basil, D's Nuts, Dysfunctional Degenerate, Flabberwocky, Jonathan, Mike 808, Isaka12315, Payne Patchett, Pony Stark, Shouting Zombie, Water Guys VT, and everyone else on my Patreon for supporting me today and helping to make this video possible. Well, this is it, guys. This is my yearly test of whether I'm going to get back into League, which this time I'm going to pass. I'm not going to play. Not even a single game. I swear. Because, of course, I am going to be busy working on my Best of Anime 2024 video and nothing else. Okay, guys? So, this is going to be my last video of the year before I go off for my Christmas holidays, and this time I'm actually going to be taking a holiday. So we have already started working on the first video of next year, which will be the best of anime of this year. We're going to be putting a lot of work into it. So I hope you enjoyed that when that comes out, and I hope you enjoy your Christmas and your New Year's. So until then, I hope you have a wonderful holiday and a happy new year, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.